just have 2 gluten-free pieces of toast, cottage cheese, 2 eggs, and a little bit of bacon. High in protein to keep me full, as I usually have breakfast quite early as I wake up quite early, and recently I've started having breakfast within 60 minutes of waking up, and I've noticed a huge difference in my hormonal health and my skin. So I'm going to try and keep this habit up, and I will make a matcha later on before I go to school so I have something else in my stomach. But having a balanced breakfast improves your brain capacity and your brain's ability to think so much. It enhances focus, boosts motivation, and is a crucial part before studying in the morning. I found that when I was doing my study sessions on an empty stomach, all I could think about was breakfast, and I just couldn't focus for as long of time, and I was less productive. So waking up and making myself breakfast, definitely a habit that if you don't do, you have to adapt. Maybe that could be by meal prepping. I meal prepped some chia yogurt pods earlier in the week. So I know yesterday morning I just had a chia yogurt bowl and all I had to do was get it out of the fridge. But this morning I made honestly one of my favorite breakfasts lately. I used to be a really sweet breakfast person, but recently I've turned to savory options like bacon or eggs. But that can be a really good way, meal prepping, if you're short on time or you need to just adapt the habit into your lifestyle. Just updated my homework tracker a little bit and I feel like it looks so much better now. I've essentially now got my own homework tracker for each subject instead of having it all in one graph, which is a lot easier for me to see which homework I have due in which subject. I use Notion to do this, so I highly recommend if you want to stay on track during year 12 or uni, definitely download Notion. I have got all my friends onto it now. I'm currently waiting for some things to print. I will pop a little to-do list on the screen. I don't have too much to get done this morning, to be honest. I went to the library last night with my friends and got a bunch of stuff done, but I just printed out my speech because I have a speech for school today at assembly. I would like to write my English analytical text response to get some feedback from my teacher, but I'm not sure if I'll get around to doing that this morning. It's really great on this table because I can see all the homework that I have in progress, what I need to do. I need to start collecting cue cards for food studies. I've got a lot of literature homework to do, and I usually have my phone sitting here because I use the app Flora. I feel like I've mentioned it in a few vlogs, but it's essentially a timer app and it grows a tree for you, so if you get out of that timer or you don't finish it, your tree dies. And I have a habit tracker set on it, which I didn't even know you could do, and it's called Morning Study Block, and it's set for Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and like on the weekend and stuff, and it's got a little time that I can press and it will take me to like that timer. Yeah, it's actually really helpful, so I really recommend. It is now officially the part of the morning where it is time to get ready. It is 7:04 a.m. at the moment. I do have my school uniform on, but I've got a jumper over the top because A, it's really chilly, and 2, just for like privacy reasons, got a jumper on. But this is the part of the morning where I will do my makeup, my hair. Usually I'll have a podcast on, some music or a YouTube video, and I just love this little time because I get just a little bit of time to myself to get ready. I will have just finished my study block and I'm feeling pumped, productive and ready to tackle the day. But I thought I would, while I get ready, talk through some of my tips, tricks, ways that I'm staying organized in year 12, as this is a study morning routine. So I thought it'd be helpful, as if you've clicked on this video, you're most likely someone who wants to develop a better study schedule, or you're a student at the moment, or this correlates to you in some way. First product I'm going in with is my Nadeo Full Coverage Concealer. My skin is definitely doing better at the moment. It's not the best still, but I have been making some changes to improve it, and you guys would know that my skin is something that I'm really working on this year. I feel like I'm kind of getting somewhere. I went to the doctors, they referred me to a dermatologist. The dermatologist never got back, so love that for me. Aside from that though, I think I'll talk about kind of how I developed a study schedule, because I know a lot of people can hear that it's good to create a study schedule, but no one really tells you how or how to implement that in your routine, because to me a study schedule feels way too rigid. And even if you have a really solid routine, there are so many things in life that change and that aren't stagnant, that throughout your week it's kind of unrealistic to expect yourself to stick to all these particular times unless you're dedicating your whole life to school, which I don't think is healthy either. So what I did, I made my study schedule online this year. I used the platform Notion, which you guys would hear me talk about a lot. I think I've already mentioned it a few times in this video, but I created a table that I could change out and in each week. So overall, I don't really change it much. It literally stays the same. It's got my morning study blocks, my weekend study blocks, all that. But on the rare occasion that I do have something on or my week does look a little different, I can just easily change it and then change it back the next week because it's digital. And on the weekend in particular, something which I've adapted this year, which I feel like is actually a really helpful tip, is instead of having times on the weekend that I study, I just tell myself that on a Saturday and Sunday I must do a 2-hour study block window, and that can either be in the morning, midday or night. I'm just using the Mecca bronzer stick. I feel like at the moment it's just felt like a little bit weird because you obviously go into year 12 with all these goals and expectations of yourself, but the start of year 12 is actually kind of slow. Like, I don't have too much homework to do, it's just all self-studying, which I feel like is a very big theme of year 12. When I did my year 12 subject last year, I realised that a lot of it is self-study. Like, it's up to you to get the marks that you want to do and to follow up your work and to follow up your grades. Like, no one's going to do it for you, which sort of prepares you a lot for like university and all that stuff. Now I'm going in with the Glossier Cloud Paint Seamless Blush Tint. They call this a blush, but I swear it's a bronzer. I also think another really important aspect when you're studying is physical activity, and for me that looks like running. Obviously Tuesday and Thursday nights I have my proper training with my group, but I have my training program as well, and I feel like when you have heaps of things in your life, you're kind of forced not to only study, and that's a really big thing I feel like, is making sure you have things that force you to get out, like other commitments to other things, because also I find that you overthink your grades less. Like, if you don't do as well as you wanted on a test, but then you have to go to training or you have to go to a music lesson or something like that, it takes your mind off it and you realize that there's like bigger things to worry about. So many people say they don't have time, but you really have to make that time for yourself. Going to bed an hour earlier and then waking up and using that hour to study, that is how you build those habits, and that's how you do 100 million things at once whilst achieving good goals. Like, I feel like if you looked at me, you'd think that like I just create videos and I just like don't do school, but I actually do. It's in those little moments where I'm not filming and the whole world is asleep that I'm like actually like studying and doing it all. But I want to share more of that this year and more of my year 12 journey, because once I enter uni, that will be literally my whole life, because that's when you really can't, it's not optional, like you've dedicated yourself to be there. And a lot of my videos will be centered around being a student dietitian. I am all ready ready for school now. I am gonna pack my bag. This is the bag I use for school. I got it for Christmas. It's honestly the cutest thing ever. It's got like an insulated compartment in it, so I don't need to bring a lunchbox, which is so handy. But I'm gonna go grab my lunch out of the fridge. It's about 7:40 at the moment, but I like to leave myself 10 minutes to make my morning iced matcha. It genuinely makes me so excited for the day. I have my PE book in my bag today, my pencil case, obviously my speech which I printed out for assembly today. I'm going to pop this in my planner which I've been bringing to school. This is my Steph Pays planner. It's my 2026 one, and I always put all my SAC dates and just anything that I need really for the day. So today that is my speech. So I'm going to pop that in my bag, and then obviously I need my laptop but also my laptop case, and then I will pop this all in my bag. But as I said, I'm going to pop my lunch in there first. Bag is packed, which means it is time to make my morning matcha. I am going to go head off to school now. It is about 8 a.m. so this is the time that I usually leave. I've got my matcha, my bag is packed with my lunch in it. I also need to pop my actual uniform top on before I leave to go to school. I was just wearing this jumper because of this video, obviously. But I'm going to go have an amazing day at school, and overall that is how I set myself up for a great study day at school, a productive learning day at school, and also how I get some things done in the morning being in year 12 and just having so much on my schedule that sometimes you just need a bit of a study block in the morning, whether that's to study or to get anything else done in your life that you don't have time for. And by far my favorite part of the morning is my matcha and my breakfast. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know any other videos you want to see or any other year 12 content you want to see. All my social medias are in the description box down below if you want to keep up with my everyday life every day. And without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next video.